At just 13 years old, my life was simple. I lived in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, with my family. Every morning, I went to school like every other child. When classes ended, I didn't go home to play. Instead, I helped my father earn a living. My father was a sugarcane farmer. Every day, he hired a wheelbarrow for just 20 kobo. Together, we'd neatly arrange fresh sugarcane on it before I pushed it through the streets of Maiduguri, calling customers and hoping to sell enough before sunset. The weather in northern Nigeria was always unforgiving. The scorching sun could drain every bit of strength from your body. But I had no choice. I was only a boy trying to help my father provide for our family. Then one afternoon, everything changed. The sun was unusually hot, and I desperately searched for a tree where I could rest for a few minutes. As I carefully pushed my wheelbarrow toward the shade, I accidentally brushed against a parked car. I froze. The sugarcane wheelbarrow had scratched the vehicle and knocked off one of its headlights. Fear rushed through my body. My first instinct was to run away. But something inside me refused. My conscience told me to stay. So I picked up the broken headlight, stood beside the damaged car, and waited for the owner. Minutes felt like hours. For nearly 30 minutes, I stood there trembling, wondering what would happen next. Then a man walked toward me. I didn't know he had been praying in a nearby mosque. Still holding the broken headlight, I couldn't even speak. I had no idea that this single moment would steal almost my entire life. Before we continue, if this is your first time watching Lagos Flipside, welcome. Here, we uncover powerful human stories like this, hidden communities, and the untold side of Lagos that many people have never seen. If you enjoy documentaries that reveal the truth behind everyday life, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you never miss our next story. Now, let's continue. Before I could explain anything, the man began beating me mercilessly. People nearby rushed over, trying to stop him. But instead of listening, he pulled out a pistol and threatened to shoot anyone who came close. Everyone stepped back. I was only 13 years old. He forced me into his vehicle and drove straight to the police station. That was when I discovered who he really was. He was a police officer. The moment we arrived, he ordered the officers on duty to throw me into a cell. No questions. No investigation. No statement. No chance to explain. They simply obeyed. That first night was the longest night of my life. There was no food. No blanket. No family. No one even knew where I was. The following morning, we were given pieces of bread to share among ourselves. Around 10 a.m., one officer noticed me. "Who is this small boy?" he asked. A woman behind the counter replied, "Oga said we should keep him there." The officer questioned the order. But another officer immediately shut him down. "Who are you to question Oga?" Days became weeks. Weeks became a month. Every morning, I hoped someone would remember me. Every evening, I cried myself to sleep. I kept wondering. Had the officer forgotten I even existed? Was my family searching for me? Would I ever go home again? Nobody answered. Nobody cared. 1 month later, several of us were loaded into a vehicle and taken to court. But the court never sat that day. Instead, an officer casually said, "Take them on remand." Those 4 words changed my destiny forever. Without a trial. Without a lawyer. Without anyone speaking for me, I was sent to prison. Prison became my new home. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. For an entire year, I remained on remand without knowing what crime I had officially committed. Eventually, I was assigned to the prison laundry section, where I spent my days washing clothes. After 2 years, something unexpected happened. One morning, officers woke us up without explanation. We were loaded into a vehicle. No one told us where we were going. Only after arriving did another inmate whisper, "We're in Bauchi." I was only 15 years old. That became the pattern of my life. You never knew when another transfer was coming. You simply woke up one day and found yourself in another prison, in another state, among complete strangers. I was moved across Nigeria. From Bauchi to prisons in the eastern region, to prisons in the west. As if I were a government worker being posted from one location to another. Eventually, I arrived at Ibadan prison. Later, I was transferred again. This time to Kano. By then, I wasn't a child anymore. I had become an old man. Inside prison, everyone called me a baba. I had spent so many years behind bars that new prisoners believed I had committed some terrible crime. Whenever I told them my story, they laughed. Nobody believed someone could remain in prison simply because of a broken car headlight. Behind prison walls, everyone assumes every inmate deserves to be there. But my greatest punishment wasn't prison. It was losing my family. My parents. My brothers. My sisters. I had no idea whether they were alive or dead. It felt like I had entered the world alone. By the time I reached 60 years old, I had completely accepted prison as my life. Then one day, everything changed. The state governor came to inspect the prison shortly before leaving office. As he walked through the prison yard, he suddenly stopped. His eyes met mine. "Baba," he called. "Come here. How old are you? And what brought you here?" For the first time in almost 50 years, someone wanted to hear my story. I broke down in tears. My voice trembled. "My Lord, I am 60 years old. I came here when I was 13. The prison fell silent. Prisoners, warders, officials. Everyone was shocked. Even the governor couldn't hold back his tears. An investigation began immediately. The truth finally came out. The police officer who had thrown me into that cell decades earlier had become a respected traditional ruler. The governor personally took me to the palace. I was still wearing my prison uniform. The officers wanted me to change clothes. The governor refused. When the monarch saw me, he lowered his head. Then he looked at the governor and asked quietly, "Will God ever forgive me? Years of wealth, power, titles. None of them could return what had been taken from me. He didn't just imprison me. He stole my childhood. He stole my youth. He stole my future. I lost my family. I lost my identity. I became a stranger in my own country. Some mistakes last a lifetime. And some lives can never truly be restored."